there's all sorts of things. What Western culture and people with stuff, you tend to just have a little bit more of a buffer against reality. You know that you often hear that online that religion is a crutch for poor people or whatever, poor people that don't have anything. And isn't that great? I want a crutch. I need a crutch. What's wrong with a crutch? I need help. Life is tough. But secondly, it never seems to occur to people that maybe poor people, or people without material goods, I should say, don't have as much buffeting and buffering them from reality. From actually being in contact with other human beings. They don't have as much space to isolate themselves. They don't have as much distance from their own need. They're just their physical need as well as their emotional need. So sometimes you can trust what those people have to say about the nature of reality a little bit more than people who have completely wrapped themselves in safety blankets and feel sort of like immediate gratification, kind of quick fix type stuff. Just think about how much we distract ourselves from ever being silent, from sitting still. I mean, New York City is like a study in the powers of human beings to distract themselves from what they're feeling, which tends to be their negative feelings. They're not distracting themselves from their positive feelings. They're distracting themselves from feelings. You know, some people eat in order not to feel something. Some people are constantly online or texting, or obsessed with I don't know, listening to music 99% of the day. So I do think those things, although I think nothing changes, I think these things have changed. So everything changes, everything stays the same. I think people tend not to believe in God until they need Him. And if you don't feel you need God, which when you're young you tend to feel like you have to believe in your own sense of agency and your own power. At least that's what we're almost, I hate to use the word indoctrinated with, but that's the operating philosophy of most of our schools. So the belief in God's not going to be popular. Most of the time, I think in the ages past, it's oftentimes young adults who believe in God. It tends to be something that they're believing in because their parents believed in it. Yeah. So if there's more people that believe in God out of their own sense of conviction, rather than because it's culturally acceptable or because their parents told them to, I think that's a good thing. Also, you know, in Protestantism, by definition, you have the individual protesting against the whole, protesting, and striking out and forming their own church. So there's an anti-authoritarianism at the core, which has made Protestantism a little bit of a laughingstock because it factionalizes so much. You know, everyone's constantly forming a new church. And there's a problem with authority. You know, when you say the Bible is the only authority, well, actually what you're saying is my interpretation of the Bible is the only authority. Yeah. And so you get this very strange situation where the individual, it's like institutionalized, that what I think is more important than what these other people think. And therefore, you have to, out of survival, you have to develop a sense of you're okay, I'm okay, we're all okay. That sort of relativism that is like so predominant among young people is partly just born out of the what youth always have dealt with, which is they just want to be liked by other people. And you're not going to be liked by other people if you're telling them they're wrong all the time. People consider, like, Christianity is usually perceived as hypocrisy, and it's perceived as hypocrisy because it's all about doing the good thing. Yeah. And so we constantly have people falling from grace, and it's people saying, well, he said he was this person and he's not, he's actually doing this. When if you read the Gospels, if you read the Bible, if you read St. Paul, what you find out is that Christianity is actually the religion of hypocrites. It's full of hypocrites. That's all it has. That's the only people that are Christians are hypocrites. Because they're the people that need to be saved. Saved from themselves, saved from their inability to do the things that they know that are right. That's the whole point. Failure. That's why Ted Turner says Christianity is a religion for losers.
Yeah.
It's for people who have really screwed up. And if it's presented as just another sort of set of rules and a way that you have to get your life together, that is never going to take off. That will always be reacted against. There'll be a certain group that's attracted to it, the self-righteous, and then there'll be a certain group that hate it, and those are the people that are sort of the rebels and the anti-institutional folks, and just the sufferers, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But occasionally Jesus can, and the gospel message comes between those two people. I just want it to be preached more regularly and more clearly, and maybe with a little bit of humor. And the church has gone through these phases before. There's been a huge tapering off, and then someone has rediscovered the good news.
Yeah.
And the good news is always precursored by the bad news about us, the good news about God. But right now, it's like what most churches you hear is almost neither good news nor bad news. It's just sort of the newspaper.
Yeah.
Who's at the end of the day, I'm not going to wake up on Sunday morning to read the newspaper if I can do it with a cup of coffee, sitting on my porch. I'm not optimistic about the mainline denominations, but I wish them well.